We are going to start with Unit 3. The Unit 3 it exclusively speaks on labor cost control. We are going to speak on what are the labor which is ultimately required for the organization to run a business and earn a profits. So here, when we speak with regarding to the labor, if you wanted to manufacture any product, you wanted material, you wanted labor, and all other expenses. But the primary focus is material and labor. So here we are going to speak with regarding to the labor. When I'm going to speak with regarding to the labor, we have two kinds of expenses. One is direct expenses and one is indirect expenses of labor. I have already spoken on that. Direct expenses of labor are those who are directly involved in the production, and indirect expenses are those kind of laborers who are not directly connected with the production, but they are secondary people. It may be like supervisors, it may be like guardians, it may be like guard people. These are the people who are indirectly connected with the production of the organization and helps the organization in earning profits. Now, what are we going to do? We are going to speak on different methods how our organization is going to pay a remuneration to the employees. There are different methods. There are few methods. Few methods where the organization may select. It may be like time rate method, piece rate method. It may be like the basic method along with the bonus. So here, when I speak with regarding to the methods of labor remuneration, there are different methods. That is, there are three important methods where the organization will select a remuneration policy for the organization to pay remuneration for the employees. It may be a time rate method, it may be a piece rate method, and it may be incentive plans. So time rate method, piece rate method, and types of incentive. That is, first one is Taylor differential piece rate method, and second is Merrick differential piece rate system. Third one is Halsey premium bonus plan. Fourth one is Rowan premium bonus plan. Now, we are going to speak all the types of these plans in detail when you are going to go with the sums. So here, the basic important things which you have to keep in mind when you are going to do with the sums is every type of sum. It may be like time rate system, it may be a piece rate system, it may be a Taylor or Merrick, whatever the sum which you are going to do it. Ultimately, you have to make sure that you are going to write the correct formula. By chance, if you are missing out with the formula, your entire sum goes wrong. And the second point to keep in mind is whenever you're going to do this kind of sums, along with the formula, you have to see what are the information which has been given, what information which is not been given. There's some information which may have given directly. There's some information which they have not given directly. So we have to calculate and find it out. So we are going to start with the sums now. The first one is illustration 1. Calculate the earning of a worker per a day of 8 hours from the following information under time rate system and piece rate system. Here the employees are working for 8 hours, and we are going to take into consideration two things. That is, you are going to find out time rate system and the piece rate system. And what is the rate per hour? Rate per hour is ₹5. Rate per hour is ₹5. For 8 hours, how many when employees are working for 8 hours per hour, the cost is ₹5. Next one is, in this 8 hours, how many units they are produced? They are produced in this 8 hours, they manufactured 100 units. The last one is rate per unit. Rate per unit is 0.5, which has been given. So here, when the organization is going to manufacture a product, and here they are given 8 hours. 8 hours is the production of the employees in the organization, and in this 8 hours, how many units has been manufactured by the employees? The employees are manufacturing 100 units. So per hour, how much is the employer paying to the employee for his productivity? The employee is getting ₹5 for every hour of the production, right? Next one is rate per unit. Rate per unit, here it is 0.5. Now let's get started with the sum. Calculation of earning. Time rate system. Time rate system formula is earning is equal to hours worked into rate per hour. Hours worked, how many hours they have worked? They have worked for 8 hours. The employees have worked for 8 hours in a day, into rate per hour. How much is the rate per hour? Rate per hour is ₹5. So 8 5s are 40. Next one is piece rate system. piece rate system, the formula is number of units produced into rate per unit. How much is the number of units produced in a day of 8 hours? They have manufactured 100 units. In 8 hours, they have manufactured 100 units. So number of units produced is 100. Rate per unit is, they have already given us, rate per unit is 0.5. So 100 into 0.5 is rupees 50. Second one, illustration 2. Calculate the earning of a worker under time rate system, piece rate system. Here they have given number of working hours in a week is 40 hours. They have here, when you see in the previous sum, they have told in a day the employer working in a day for 8 hours. But here they have considered in a week, in the total week, the employees are only working for 40 hours. Rate per hour is 4. Number of units produced is 300. Standard production per hour, it is 10 units. So when you notice in the sum, a rate per unit is not given. We need to calculate rate per unit. Rate per unit, how are we going to calculate? Rate per unit is rate per hour divided by standard production per hour, it is 10 units. So then we'll get rate per unit. Now we'll start with the first one. Time rate system. Time rate system. What is the formula is hours worked into rate per hour. How many hours they have worked? They have worked for 40 hours in a week. And rate per hour is, what is the rate per hour? It is 4. Second one, piece rate system. Number of units produced. How many units are produced? Number of units produced is 300. Into rate per unit, we don't know. We need to calculate the rate per unit because in the sum they have not given rate per unit directly, but we have to calculate rate per unit. The formula to calculate rate per unit is rate per hour divided by standard output per hour. By chance, if they have not given rate per unit directly, then they would have given these two items, that is rate per hour and standard production per hour. They would have given, keeping that we have to do the calculation on rate per unit. So rate per hour is 4, standard output per hour is 10. So 0.4, rate per unit is 0.4. So 300 into 0.4, we get 120. This is the second variation of sum under this. Third one is, on the basis of following information, calculate the earning of X and Y under straight piece rate basis. Taylor's differential piece rate system. Standard production is 8 units per hour. Normal time rate 4 per hour. Differential to be applied: 80% to the normal rate below the standard, 120% of normal rate above the standard. Working hours 9 hours a day. Mr. X 54 units has been produced. Y produces 75 units. Calculate the earning. So in this, what are we going to calculate? We are going to calculate straight piece rate basis. Straight piece rate basis is also called as piece rate system. The other name for straight piece rate basis is called as piece rate system. The second one which I am going to calculate is Taylor differential piece rate system. Now, what is the formula? We are going to start with the formula now. Straight piece rate system is number of units produced into rate per unit. Number of units produced, we have 2 employees are producing different units in the same day. They are producing different units. Fine. Now Mr. X is producing 54 units. Mr. Y is producing 75 units. Now rate per unit. Rate per unit, here they are given Taylor's differential piece rate system. Standard production 8 units. Standard production is 8 units. That is the standard which are supposed to produce is 8 units, and the normal time rate is 4 per hour. Fine. Now here standard production, when you see in the previous sum, they have given standard production per hour is 10 units. Here standard production Per hour it is 8 units. Standard production per hour it is 8 units, and normal time rate it is 4 per hour. Normal time rate it is 4 per hour. They are given the standard production as well as the normal time rate production as well. Now we are supposed to, in this sum also they have not given rate per unit. What are we supposed to do it? We are supposed to calculate the rate per unit. Supposed to calculate the rate per unit. The formula for calculating rate per unit is rate per unit is equal to rate per hour. Rate per hour, how much is in rate per hour? It is normal rate per hour, it is 4. Normal rate per hour, it is 4, divided by standard output per hour. What is the standard output where the organization has planned? The organization have told that in an hour you are supposed to manufacture 8 units. So standard output production in an hour, it is 8. So 4 divided by 8 is 0.5. Now rate per unit is 0.5. 54 into 0.5 we get 54 into 0.5 I get 27. Why? How much they manufactured? 75. 75 into 0.5 I get 37.5. In the sum also they have not given rate per unit. We have to calculate the rate per unit. Next question, next part, you're supposed to calculate even Taylor's differential piece rate system. From here on, we're going to start with the incentive plan. Incentive plan, the first one is Taylor differential incentive plan. So here we're going to speak with regarding to the incentive or bonus with regarding to the employees. Now, this part, Taylor's differential piece rate system, number of units produced into differential rate per unit, rate per unit into percentage of efficiency. Into percentage of efficiency. When you see the Taylor's differential piece rate system, it is number of units produced into differential rate per unit. Now, second part is differential rate per unit. The differential rate per unit we have to calculate. We are going to calculate the differential rate per unit. How are we going to calculate? There is a formula even for that. Differential rate per unit is equal to rate per unit into percentage of efficiency. Percentage of efficiency is given here. Differential percentage of efficiency has already been given here, but we have to apply for which employee how much is the percentage. We have to do it. Now, X. How much X produced? 54 units. What is the differential rate per unit which is already been calculated? It is 0.5. It is a rate per unit, it is 0.5. Now, the percentage which you are supposed to calculate here, they are given differential to be applied. 80% of the normal rate below the standard. 120% of the normal rate above the standard. So already there is a standard which has been set. There are some, it may be like X is manufactured below the standard and Y is manufactured above the standard. We have to see how much is the standard, and depending on that we have to categorize whether X will fall under below the standard or above the standard. Y will fall under below the standard or above the standard. Now we are going to calculate the same over here. Now, the number of units produced by X is 54, Y is 75. Rate per unit which you already calculated is 0.5 and 0.5. Now, rate per unit into percentage of efficiency. Percentage of efficiency. Here, when you see working hours 9 hours a day, working hours is 9 hours a day. But how much is standard production? The standard production is 8 units. You are supposed to produce 8 units in a day. You are supposed to produce 8 units in particular hour. Particular hour you are supposed to produce 8 units. What is the working hour? The working hour is 9 hours in a day. Right? In 1 hour you are supposed to manufacture 8 units, but in the whole day you are supposed to manufacture how many units? That is the standard which you are going to create it. Fine. So 1 hour you are supposed to manufacture 8 units. So you are going to, in a day you are going to work for 9 hours. You are going to work for 9 hours a day. So 8 9s are 72. In a day you are supposed to manufacture 72 units. You are supposed to manufacture 72 units. 1 hour you are supposed to manufacture 8 units. In 9 hours you are going to manufacture 72 units. Now, X produced 54 units. So when you see 54 units, it is below compared to 72 units. So it is 80% of the normal rate below the standard. So 54 into 0.5, that is rate per unit, into 80%, which is below the standard. Second one is 75 into 0.5 into, as the standard which you are supposed to manufacture it is 72, but why is manufactured 75? It is above the standard. So why is manufactured 75? What is our standard? Our standard is 72. So we are going to select the second rate, that is 120% of the normal rate above the standard. He is manufactured more than the expected. The organization has told the employees are supposed to manufacture only 72 units, but he is manufactured 75 units. This means it is above the standard. So what are we going to do is 54 into 0.5 into 80%, 21.6. Why it is 75 into 0.5 into 120 percentage, 45. So this is the Taylor differential piece rate system. In Taylor differential piece rate system, and generally they'll give you a slab 80% below, 120% above. So what are we going to do is we have to go and categorize X, that is it may be employee X and employee Y or employee Z. How many employees they're given, we have to categorize these employees under which category it falls. They fall, whether they fall under below the standard or above the standard. That is the concept with regarding to the Taylor differential piece rate system. Next, illustration 4. Illustration 4, calculate the earning of 3 workers X, Y and Z on the basis. So in the previous illustration 3 we spoke on 2 employees. Illustration 4 we are going to speak on 3 employees. Illustration 4 we are going to speak on 3 employees. Here we are going to speak on piece rate system, Taylor's differential piece rate system. Piece rate system and Taylor's differential piece rate system. Here, number of working hours in a day. Number of working hours in a day, you are supposed to work in a day for 10 hours. Standard production per hour is 10 units. That is, standard production per hour is 10 units. Per hour you are supposed to manufacture 10 units. Normal time rate per hour is 6. Even here when we see, they have not given rate per unit. We have to calculate rate per unit. What is the rate per unit? A rate per hour, how much you are supposed to manufacture, that is a normal rate per hour is 6 which you are going to manufacture. How much is standard production per hour? It is 10. So rate per hour, it is 6 divided by 10, I get 0.6. 0.6, it is my rate per unit. They have given the standard production per hour and normal time rate per hour. If they have given this, as we have to assume that okay, they have not given standard, they have not given rate per unit, we have to calculate rate per unit here. Next one, actual production, X has manufactured 80 units, Y has manufactured 100 units, Z has manufactured 120 units. Now differential to be applied, 75% of piece rate below the standard, 120% piece rate at or above the standard. So here 3 employees, we have to see who is falling under 75% below the standard, who is falling 120% above the standard. Now first one is, we are going to start with the piece rate system. Piece rate system, first one is what they have told us, number of units produced. Number of units produced into rate per unit. Earning is equal to number of units produced into rate per unit. We are going to take into consideration all the 3 employees individually and calculate individually the piece rate system on a daily basis. X has manufactured 80 units, Y 100, Z 120, and rate per unit is 0.6, which we have calculated now, 0.6 and 0.6. So 80 into 0.6, I get 48. 100 into 0.6, I get 60. 120 into 0.6, I get 72. So piece rate system is done. Now I'm going to start with the Taylor differential piece rate system. So here what they have told us, number of working hours in a day. How many working hours is 10 hours. 10 hours we are supposed to work. Standard production per hour. Standard production per hour. Per hour how much are supposed to manufacture. Per hour how many units are supposed to manufacture. I'm supposed to manufacture 10 units. So in 10 hours how many units are supposed to manufacture. If you're manufacturing 1 hour is 10 units, for 10 hours how much am I going to manufacture. So in 10 hours you're going to manufacture 100 units. This is a standard 100 units you're going to manufacture. Now what they have given here, differential, it is 75% below, 120% above the standard. Now X X is Taylor differential piece rate system. Earning is number of units produced into differential rate per unit. Fine. X is equal to 80%, 80 units into differential rate per unit is 0.6 into 75%. I'm going to take 75% because this is below the standard. What is below standard is 100. So it is below the standard, it is 100. Next one, Y. How much Y has manufactured? 100. I'm going to take 120. Why I'm going to take 120? Because here they have clearly stated that 120% piece rate at or above the standard. I'm going to manufacture at the standard, or it will be equal to the standard, or it will be above the standard. If it is equal to the standard or above the standard, I'm going to take 120. So Y has manufactured 100 units, so I'm going to take the slab of 120. Z has manufactured 120, which is above, so I'm going to take 120. Now 80 into 0.6 into 75%, 36. 100 into 0.6 into 120%, 72. 120 into 0.6 into 120%, I get 86.4. So whenever you are doing any Taylor differential piece rate system, first try to calculate and find out for 1 hour you are going to manufacture 10 units. Then for 10 hours, how many units are going to manufacture the whole day? That will be your standard. And after calculating the standard, then you start with the Taylor piece rate system. Next one is illustration 5. Illustration 5, which you are going to speak with regarding to the different factor. That is, you are going to speak on Halsey plan and Rowan plan. So Halsey plan and Rowan plan, whenever you are going to do, first and the foremost, keep in mind that we are going to find out how many hours they have given, how many hours has been allotted by the organization, how many hours the employee have taken, and how many hours the employee has saved the productivity time period. Now, calculate total earnings and effective wage rate per hour under Halsey and Rowan system. Time allowed to complete the job, 48 hours. So the organization is telling that to manufacture the product, you're supposed to, the organization has given you 48 hours. The organization has already told you we are going to allow you the time period is 48 hours. So within 48 hours you're going to finish your productivity and submit the productivity on time to the organization. Now, what the employees have done is the employees have worked for 48 hours and they have completed the work within 40 hours. The time allotted is 48 hours, but the organization employees have taken and finished within 40 hours. The complete productivity is done within 40 hours. And how many hours has been saved? They have saved 8 hours. So 48 hours the organization has given. The time where the employees has taken to finish the work, they have taken 40 hours. How many hours the organization has saved? The organization has saved 8 hours. That is called as time saved. Next one is rate per hour is 10. Fine. Now we're going to start with the Halsey plan. Halsey plan, the formula is hours worked into rate per hour plus half time saved into rate per hour. Hours worked. How many hours the organization has worked? The organization has worked for 40 hours. The organization employees has worked for 40 hours. That is time taken by the employees to manufacture and submit the work to the employer. They took 40 hours. Rate per hour, it is 10 plus half. How much is the time saved? The time saved it is 8. 48 hours has been allowed in that time. The employees has taken is 40 hours. So how many hours the organization employees has saved? It is 8 into rate per hour. It is 10. Fine. So it is 400 plus 40. It is 440. That is 40 into 10. It is 400 plus half into 8 into 10, that is 40. That is 80 into half, we get 40. 400 plus 40 is equal to 440. we have to also show the calculation, that is how much of time is been saved. Even that calculation also we have to show, one of the step which is there in the HALSAVE plan. Time saved, it is time taken, time allowed minus time taken. Time allowed, it is 48 hours, that the employees has taken time to manufacture the product, it is 40. How much of time the employees have saved? It is 8 hours. Next one, the second point is which you have to do in a HALSAVE plan is, after calculating the HALSAVE plan, the next one is what is the effective rate per hour. We have to even calculate effective rate per hour. Effective rate per hour formula is total earnings divided by hours worked. How much is the total earning after calculating HALSAVE plan? How much is the total earning of the HALSAVE plan? Total earning, that is the earning, total earning of the HALSAVE plan is 440. Hours worked is 40. Hours worked is 40 divided by 40, I get 11. So we have to calculate three things. One is you have to calculate the HALSAVE plan earning, HALSAVE plan effective rate per hour, and HALSAVE plan time saved. These are the three things which we need to calculate. The next one is a row 1 plan. A row 1 plan, earning is equal to hours worked into rate per hour plus time saved divided by time allowed into hours worked into rate per hour. Hours worked, the employees has worked for 40 hours into rate per hour is 10 plus time saved is 8, employees has saved 8 hours. 8 divided by time allowed is 48. Then hours worked, it is, how much is hours worked? Hours worked, it is 40 into rate per hour is 10. So when we calculate 400, 40 into 10 is 400 plus 8 divided by 4, 8 divided by 48, I get 0.17 into 400, I get 66.67 plus 400, how much I get? 466.67. So again I'll repeat. So 40 into 10 is 400 plus 8 divided by 48, I get 1.67. 1.67 into 400, I get 66.67. So 400 plus 66.67, I get 466.67. It is my earnings of the row 1 plan. Next one, in this on row 1 plan also we are supposed to calculate the effective rate per hour. Effective rate per hour of the row 1 plan, the earnings of the row 1 plan is 466.67 divided by hours worked is 40. We get 466.67 divided by 40, I get 11.67. It is the effective rate per hour of row 1 plan. So when I speak with regarding to the HALSAVE plan, it will take into consideration 50% of the bonus, 50% of the bonus, that is half, 50% of the bonus of the employees. When I speak with regarding to the row 1 plan, it will take into consideration the proportion of the plan, the proportion of the bonus plan, it is row 1, and HALSAVE plan, it is 50% of the bonus. Next one, we are going to speak on illustration 6. Illustration 6, standard time allowed for a job is 20 hours. Job is 20 hours. The time allowed by the organization, it is 20 hours at 2 per hour. That is rate per hour, it is 2 plus dearness allowance at 60 paisa per hour worked. Actual time taken by the worker is 15 hours. So the organization has given the time period is 20 hours, but the employee has taken 15 hours to complete the work. How much of time which is being saved by the employee is 5 hours. 5 hours the employee has saved. What are we going to calculate? We are supposed to calculate here the HALSAVE plan and the row 1 plan. Here we are going to calculate HALSAVE plan and the row 1 plan along with addition of the dearness allowances. Dearness allowances here it is 60 paisa per hour. Dearness allowance is 60 paisa per hour. So how are we going to calculate dearness allowance? So 60 paisa is 1 rupee is equal to 100 paisa. So 60 divided by 100, how much I get? 0.65. Okay, now calculation of earning, HALSAVE plan. Hours worked is 15. The actual time taken by the employees is 15 hours into rate per hour, which is given rupees 2 per hour. That is 2 per hour. That is rate per hour is 2 into half. Time saved it is 5. 20 hours the time is given by the employee. 15 hours has been taken by the employee to complete the work. How much of the employee the time has been saved by the employee is 5. So 5 into rate per hour is 2. So 15 into 2 plus half, 5 into 10. So how much we get? 15 into 2 is 30. 0.5 into 10 I get 5. So 30 plus 5 I get 35. 30 plus 5 I get 35. It is my Halsey plan. Now I'm going to calculate DNS allowance. The formula to calculate DNS allowances is equal to hours work plus DNS allowance. Hours work plus DNS allowance is the formula. So here what they have given, DNS allowance at 60 paisa per hour worked. So 60 paisa per hour worked, 1 rupee is equal to 100 paisa. So 60 divided by 100 I get 0.6. It is my DNS allowance is 0.6. But how are we going to calculate hours work plus DNS allowances? How much is the hours work by the employee? The employee has taken 15 hours to work into 0.60. Fine, it is 0.6. 15 into 0.6 I get 9. 15 into 0.6 I get 9. That is 15 the time taken by the employees to manufacture. It is 15 hours. 15 into 0.6. 15 into 0.6. Sorry, here it is multiplication into 0.6. I get 9. Fine. So total earnings of Halsey plan, it is 35 plus 9 I get 44. After adding the DNS allowance I get 44. That is inclusive of DNS allowance. The earning of Halsey plan, it is 44. Next one, it is Rowan plan. Rowan plan earning is equal to hours worked into rate per hour plus time saved divided by time allowed. Hours worked into rate per hour. 15 into 2. Hours worked is 15. Rate per hour is 2. Plus time saved is 5 divided by time allowed, it is 20. The employee is given 20 divided by hours worked, it is 15 into rate per hour, it is 2. So 15 into 2 is 30 plus 5 divided by 20. 5 divided by 20, how much I get? 0.25. 0.25 into 30, how much I get? 7.5. 30 plus 7.5, I get 37.5. Again, plus DNS allowances, 15 into 0.6. 15 into 0.6, I get 9. So what is my total earnings of Rowan plan? It is 37.5 plus 9, I get 46.5. 46.5 is my Rowan plan.